Welcome to a Business Minute with Lily Lopez, presented by the South Florida Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Today is a special day because we have a good friend of ours, Al Hernandez. He's the Market Vice President for Humana. Al brings over 23 years of experience in group insurance sales and services to Humana. His industry experience began with a large insurance carrier back in 1992. And currently, since 2014, Al was promoted to Market Vice President with oversight of the entire market for all commercial products for Central and North Florida. He has tremendous experience in the industry across all product lines, as well as the various distribution channels. He's responsible for implementing the sales, retention, and engagement strategy. Since 2014, the North Florida market has achieved all set objectives, including sales and retention growth. Al earned his MBA degree with honors in 2001 from Nova Southeastern University. And people who know me know I don't like to read, but I couldn't memorize your bio. But I had to read. But I like the dialogue. I don't like to read. And Al, it's just great to have you. I know you're in Tampa. Thank you so much for being on a Business Minute with Lily Lopez. And I just want to say something that Humana has been a member of ours, of the South Florida Hispanic Chamber, for many, many years. And I have to say that Humana is one of our biggest supporters for our toy drive. For those who are watching the show, they know that for the past 13 years, we have been the sole provider of toys for the children of Centro Mater West, which would be encompasses Hialeah Gardens, for a total of 923 children. That's a big number. People say, oh, but it's teams that we have, and Humana has always been there. And Humana has always handled, and we call it the afternoon children. And why the afternoon children? Because they are kindergarten through second grade. Because we do in the morning with Santa Claus for the 1-year-olds to 4-year-olds, and then kinder through second grade, we call the afternoon shift. So we do that as well. So we spend a whole day giving toys, and we bring Santa Claus in the morning and in the afternoon. And Humana is always there helping my staff and me with the coordination, because you have to sort all of this out because there's a lot of kids. Santa Claus, and Humana is always with us, and I am grateful because the afternoon children, sometimes always people say to me, I want the little ones. I say, come on, kindergartners, first and second grades are fun too. You don't need the 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds. So Humana always, we're there for you. And it's something important that we value. We really, really appreciate the support that Humana gives us, and your employees come too. And they spend hours there in the coordination and helping us. So that's something important and that I appreciate from Humana. And I'm very thankful and grateful to all of your staff. So Al, on behalf of the board of directors, our chairman of the board, Roland Sanchez Medina, and me, thank you so much for that great help that you give us in December. And plus all the other events that you help us with as well. So now back with Humana. So Humana is a health insurance company that serves millions of individuals in the state of Florida. It strives to be a leader in healthcare, innovations, and community wellness. So happy to be here with you and to talk to you about what you guys are doing and how has the demand for telehealth evolved over the course of the pandemic. How do you see that?
Well, Lily, first of all, thank you so much. And before I get started, I want to say thank you personally to you. We appreciate this opportunity. It is absolutely a privilege to be here for you, for your members. And I got to tell you, I personally value your time. Humana, the objective is very simple. It's how we effectively serve our communities. You talked about the toy drive. That's, even though it's not healthcare related, this is something that we need to do for our community. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And I thank you for that. And we will continue to support that. Because in the end, right, it's all about human care, right?
Exactly. So, giving back to the community. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lily. Thank you for asking that question regarding telehealth. A few years ago, Humana launched our partnership with Doctors on Demand to provide members with their virtual asset. And this is all, by the way, US-based board-certified physicians. And at the time, we saw really minimal utilization of the program because people were not accustomed to really do any type of virtual elements, talking to a physician online. That was not something that was I would say that truly visible at the time. However, I got to tell you, with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen a significant growth in telehealth, up to 20-30% of the membership now utilizing virtual care. This has created a significant shift, by the way, in the way that we do business, and I'm sure others as well, as we believe that telehealth will continue to play a significant post-pandemic role. And in fact, many of the products that we actually bring to the marketplace, we offer are embedded actually are virtual care solutions because we know that it's extremely vital for the community, for sure, and for our members.
Exactly. My personal opinion is that it's really good, like for very small things, because I'm a believer that nothing compares to being actually at the office with a doctor. And if you really have something that you need to be checked, and then if you have thyroid problems, if you have stomach problems, I still think that you need to be seen. But I do think that the telemedicine, it serves its purpose for minimal not disease, but minimal things that you have, maybe like a cold or sore throats, all those things. But I, for one, strongly believe that there's nothing better than being one-on-one
But you know what?
with a doctor.
I got to be honest with you. I mean, I use it personally. I mean, my daughter came the other day and she said she fell and, she had, her hand. So, as a parent.
Exactly.
Right. You want to take care of that right away. And the question is, do you want to go to the ER? Do you want to go to the hospital? What do you want to do? So we picked it up. Right. Within 5 minutes, we're talking to the physician. They send her, a medication, and that's it. That was done. So from a savings perspective to the member, I mean, it's really significant. And the ear aid on a baby or something like that, I mean, that's great too.
Exactly. When they have a fever, this and that. It's just like if you're calling the doctor. Back in the day when my daughter was a baby, you have to call the doctor. I remember he would call back, do this, do that. So for that, I think it's wonderful. But for something that is serious, no. Right, exactly. Because recently I was sick and I remember I called and it was telehealth and then they say there's not much they can do. So she said, well, maybe go to the urgent care. But then the urgent care sometimes can't see you. So then you end up going to, you have to end up going to the hospital. So right, exactly. So it becomes a problem when it's something a little bit more serious. Then I am finding, and I'm very outspoken. And this has nothing to do with Humana because you guys are great. But I'm talking about doctors today. I'm seeing, and I see it with friends and family members, that it's becoming very relaxed. They don't have time. They are booked because of COVID. And we do know that 1% of the people pass away, but there's 99% of the people who have heart conditions, who have other things. And the appointments are being given like very, like you have something that you would be seen like, within the next 2-3 days. Now they gave you an appointment within a month. So I do a lot of shows with doctors too. A lot of business minutes with Lily Lopez. And I remember many of them saying that when these people come, they come to the emergency room, they come already 40 or 40% worse than they would have. And this happens because the doctors are not seeing them because of COVID. So this has all created a situation now that I see because I deal with so many members that telemedicine is great, like you said, for those things. But when people are really ill, when you have diabetes, when you have you're sick to the stomach, you have Crohn's, you have heart disease, you need to be seen. And sometimes it gets to the point that they don't have appointments, and then you have to go then to the emergency. And when you get there, taking so long and trying to get the appointment, and the doctor doesn't give it to you. And the doctor have told me personally that people that they're seeing are coming in a condition that is really worse than it would have been had the doctor had the time to see them, because everything's so slow now because of the pandemic. So that's just something that I wanted to add for the members to know. But I think that telemedicine absolutely is great for those little things. I think it's wonderful. Yeah,
we don't want, to your point, Lily, we don't want the members to be waiting, 3 weeks to get a doctor. So I'd rather them talk to a physician, even if it's on a virtual environment, that really wait 3 weeks to actually go to that brick and mortar.
And it's good that and we have to spread the word, because some people don't even know about the telemedicine, and some people don't even know how to access it. So that's very important what you're doing. And but we also tell our members, we teach them it's important, telemedicine, because many people don't know about it. Some know but don't want to do it. So this is a very important component of that all insurance companies are offering, and what you're doing is great. We need to educate the people to know that for anything that they have that is really not critical, they have to take advantage, because then that doctor will tell them, listen, this is important, this is what you have to do. Right. But my message to doctors is, please try to expedite your appointments. Don't make it like if you call for something that pre-pandemic times, they would give you an appointment in 3-4 days, even a week. Now it'll take 2 or 3 months. So let's expedite that so that we keep our people healthy too, because that worries me. I deal with so many people out. So, but going back to Humana, so Um, how important is a holistic approach to healthcare? So I'm
Yeah,
assuming diet, exercise. I mean, yes.
you
What
know,
you guys?
Lily, I'm glad that you asked that question because, when we talk about, holistic approach, right? Everybody, talks about it, how do they manage it? But, I mentioned human care. And that's absolutely true. I mean, human care goes beyond, right, the physical aspect of the healthcare, right? Our vision in Humana has always been to try to attend to be the best or the trusted daily health and wellness partner for the member to live happier and healthy. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want to achieve, right? For that individual member family to live healthy. Look, we understand that healthcare continues to evolve, right? I mean, we talked a little bit about it. And we also acknowledge that wellness continues to expand beyond just the physical aspect. And as a consumer, right, we require a more holistic approach to healthcare. So we're constantly in the lookout for effective ways to ensure that holistic solution, that unique healthcare solution in the marketplace. And it is important that as we're viewing healthcare, we need to do it from the lens of the consumer, right? From the lens of that member, from the lens of that family, so that that way not only do we understand what they're going through, but we also we also embedded some of the elements that we take into account so that we can optimize that member's experience, right? It's not just the physical, but also, the emotional stage of that individual, the social aspect, what's going on in the member's life, right? Right?
Uh-huh.
Intellectual, the spiritual, the financial, and more important, what they do for fun. Because, right, everything has to be aligned so that we can ascertain the best possible care for that individual or member.
Of course. And now the mental health, we're seeing a lot of, so this is all, part of the holistic approach and, exercising and
Yeah,
socializing. And because all of those are components that affect a person's health. So
yeah.
it's important to learn to be out there and to have a social life. And I'm very happy to see all the things that you guys are doing. And so tell me, how does your partnership with Accolade improve your offerings? And what is Accolade? Tell me Accolade. What is Accolade?
So that's a great question, by the way. So Accolade, it's what we consider to be a navigation tool, right? And you're going to ask me, well, what is that? Well,
Right.
as we know, employers typically provide benefits that includes offerings like medical, vision, dental, life insurance, and many other products, right?
Right.
However, let's face it, right? As we talk about all the things that are taking place in that employer's view, right? That HR person, the fact is that healthcare is confusing, right? It's confusing to me, and I work in this environment. So it's important that employees really understand all the components. They might be able to know some, right, and the benefits or the medical, I mean, on the medical or the dental or so on and so forth. But the
Right.
reality is it's very difficult for them to understand it. So they struggle with what is the best course of action for my care, for my coverage.
Right.
So Humana's impact with Accolade is a company that we actually working with, and it creates this navigation tool that allows to aggregate all these benefits so that when the member calls this healthcare support specialist, they're looking not just at the member's benefit from a medical perspective, but now they're looking at all the other possible benefits that individual, that member has. And what we do is we aggregate them all of them so that we can optimize their benefit solution, so that we understand that, if that member, has a heart condition, let's just say, we need to make sure that that member is seeing their dentist for the cleaning, right? Because we know that, let's
Uh,
face it, cleaning your mouth from any type of, conditions
of course,
can
absolutely.
help you with the heart disease. So that's kind of that holistic approach that we talked about it before. This Accolade model is going to really help us achieve the most phenomenal or support that we can provide to those individuals so that we can really achieve not only the best clinical program for that member, but also to minimize the out-of-pocket expenses because let's face it, right?
Right.
The financial component is huge. So we want to make sure that that individual is getting the care that they need, but also at the most cost-effective, price for them or cost for them.
Wow, so you guys are doing great things. Humana, always at the forefront.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
and how is Humana using data-driven technology to improve its services?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, in today's ever evolving environment, data driven data technology is absolutely key, right?
Of course.
You've heard about artificial intelligence. How do we utilize that so that we can drive technology much faster, more effective? And quite honestly, at the end of the day, it's that bring that value proposition to the member. So the reality is everything that we're doing today, from a claim perspective down to the individual calling into our pharmacy or express customer service, all of that goes into this database system that we utilize, and we're constantly analyzing the data so that we can maximize that benefit, so that we can maximize that experience on that individual. So we're utilizing really the art technology to help provide personalized healthcare experience for our members. I'll give you an example, right? Let's say that we engage in a conversation with a member and we identify that this member is food insecure. People don't realize that, but in our markets, there is a vast majority of the population, quite honestly. I mean, we found that on the Medicare side of the house, it's about 30% of the population. And on the commercial side of the house, about 15% of those individuals, they're food insecure. And that's great. But as a company, we have a fiduciary responsibility to support that as well and to help that. Because if we don't take care of that situation, guess what? That individual may not be able to take the recommended medication that they need. And if they don't take the recommended medication that they need with the food that they require or the nutrition that they need, it just the problem becomes even bigger, right? So we want to make sure that we can take care of it, not just the medical side of the house, but really that holistic approach that we talked about. So this data-driven technology helps us kind of ascertain that information. And that's absolutely key for us, not only for us as a company, but also for our members and their families as well.
This is absolutely wonderful. It's very, very vanguard. I mean, you're really something right. I mean, I love it. I love what you guys are doing. It's amazing. So before we close the show, anything else that I have left out, Al?
No, you did great. I mean, look, like I said before, it's absolutely a privilege to be here, Lily, with you, with your audience, with your members. You mentioned that, we try to, our goal is really an intent is to, we need to continue to help our communities. We have a significant infrastructure throughout the state of Florida. We have a goal across the board that what we do is we engage with the communities in which we provide services so that we can optimize and maximize the benefit solutions that we bring to the table. And we become that aggregators, for lack of a better term, to bring these communities together to try to maximize the benefit solutions that they bring to the marketplace. So, I mean, that's our goal. That's our intent. As a company, we continue to find ways to do that. We continue to find ways to maximize it. And we need shows like yours. We need partners like yours to try to drive that communication onto the marketplace. So I thank you for that, for sure.
To spread the word. And thank you so much, Al. I mean, Humana is a great partner of the South Florida Hispanic Chamber. You're doing a wonderful job. And so I want to thank everyone for tuning in to A Business Minute with Lily Lopez. And then we'll see you next week, same time.
Thank you, Lily. Appreciate it. Thank you.